Welcome to the Pickleball 411. I'm Coach Fig. Today we're going to talk about dead dinks. Are you hitting too many dead dinks? We're going to talk about why you're hitting dead dinks, and we're going to go over scenarios that cause you to hit a dead dink. So we're going to cover all that in this video. Stay tuned. The reason why you are hitting dead dinks is because you are using your wrist too much. You're either going to pop up the ball or hit dead dinks. We're going to cover that in a little bit. But for the more intermediate players, we're going to cover scenarios when you use your wrist to hit a dead dink. So the first one is backing up from the non-volley zone to dink. When you back up from the non-volley zone, you have to lift the ball more, as you just see here, using the wrist to lift the ball more, and that forces you to hit a dead dink. You want to close the gap between the non-volley zone more so you can hit less dead dinks. When you hit your dinks at an angle and your opponent does not hit the ball in the air, the ball could go behind your opponent. In this scenario, you're about to see my opponent use the wrist to flick the ball up, which caused a dead dink or a pop-up. Keeping your opponent off balance in a dink battle is another way to cause dead dinks. In this scenario, you're going to see how once he hit this ball, he's off balance. Now I go inside to his body. If you see, he really doesn't have a lot of space to go up, so he's forced to hit a dead dink. Varying the depth of your dink can also cause dead dinks. Sometimes it causes your opponent to overextend their arm, causing a dead dink, or sometimes indecision on whether or not to take it in the air or move their feet. Here you're going to see that he was very indecisive, so he decided to take it in the air instead of moving his feet, causing a dead dink. If you like what you hear thus far, please hit that like button and subscribe. So two scenarios that causes a pop-up is being too wristy and using your elbow instead of your shoulder. So here on the forehand, a lot of the times the elbow isn't being used. Not a lot of people slice the dink on the forehand. It's more of a backhand scenario. But here I'm going to demonstrate how people flick the wrist or very wristy to do a dink. So they do a lot of this. You see how I'm using a lot of wrist there? What you want to do is use more shoulder to lift up. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple where you can see that I'm using a lot of wrist. So if you see, I was very, very wristy. So now I'm going to show a couple where it's just the arm to lift the ball. So if you see there, I'm lifting the ball, keeping my wrist locked, and that helps dink better. Okay, so on the backhand, when people, especially when they're trying to learn the slice dink, we did a video on that if you want to check it out in the link above. They use a lot of elbow. So they chop, they do this. So if you see the elbow, they're using the elbow a lot. So what you want to do is you want to keep the elbow locked and use the arm. So you want to do more of this, your shoulder. You want to do more of this. See the shoulders being lifted. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how it looks doing it incorrectly. So you see I'm doing a lot of elbow. It's just a pure chop. So now I'm going to use my shoulder. So if you notice in those two scenarios, I used a lot of shoulder, got under the ball, and then just lifted it up. So we covered why and in what situations people hit dead dinks. We talked about the solutions on how not to hit a dead dink. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.